Have you ever heard a child say something so eerie, so chilling, that it sent shivers down your spine? Children have a way of sensing things that we, as adults, sometimes dismiss. But what if their warning was the only thing standing between you and something truly horrifying? This is my story. The story of the night my daughter begged me not to take the baby, and the terrifying truth I discovered when I didn't listen. It all started on a cold October evening, the kind where the wind howled through the trees, making the branches creak like old bones. My husband was away on a business trip, leaving just me and my 5-year-old daughter Emily at home. We lived in a small, quiet town where everyone knew each other and nothing exciting ever seemed to happen. At least that's what I used to believe. I've noticed only 98% of you who watch haven't subscribed. Come on, guys, show some love and support. Thanks a bunch to those who have already subscribed. That night, as I was tucking Emily into bed, she suddenly clutched my arm with her tiny fingers, her bright blue eyes filled with a fear I had never seen before. "Mommy," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "Don't take the baby." I frowned, confused. "What baby, sweetheart?" She shook her head violently, her blonde curls bouncing with the movement. "The baby in the woods. Don't take it. It's not real." A cold shiver crawled down my spine. "What are you talking about, honey?" Emily's lips quivered as she pulled the covers up to her chin. "It cries at night, but it's not a baby. Don't listen." I tried to comfort her, brushing it off as a bad dream or a child's overactive imagination. After all, she was only 5. Kids say strange things all the time, don't they? But later that night, when the house was silent and the wind rattled against the windows, I heard it, a baby's cry. My heart stopped. The sound was faint, distant, almost swallowed by the wind. But it was there, a soft, pitiful wail coming from beyond the trees at the edge of our backyard. I told myself it was just an animal, a trick of the wind. But the longer I listened, the clearer it became. It was the unmistakable cry of an infant, alone and helpless in the dark. My maternal instincts kicked in. What if someone had abandoned a baby out there? What if it needed help? I grabbed my coat and a flashlight, hesitating only for a moment before stepping outside. The night air was freezing, biting at my skin as I moved toward the sound. The trees loomed ahead, dark and uninviting, their skeletal branches reaching towards the sky like twisted fingers. The crying grew louder as I approached the tree line, tugging at my heart with every sob. "Hello?" I called out. "Is someone there?" No answer, just the relentless wailing, drawing me deeper into the woods. Against my better judgment, I pressed on. The crunch of leaves beneath my feet was the only sound besides the baby's cries, which seemed impossibly distant yet painfully close. My flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced along the trunks of the trees. And then, I saw it. A bundle of white nestled at the base of a tree. A baby. My breath caught in my throat. I hurried forward, dropping to my knees. The baby's tiny face was barely visible beneath the soft folds of a blanket, its cries weak and pitiful. I reached out, my fingers brushing against the fabric, and the crying stopped. Silence. A suffocating, deafening silence. The air around me turned heavy, thick with something unseen but suffocating. My heart pounded as I slowly pulled back the blanket and screamed. The bundle was empty. No baby. Nothing. Just the crumpled remains of the blanket resting in the dirt. I scrambled to my feet, my flashlight shaking in my trembling hands. The trees around me felt closer, their shadows stretching, twisting. The wind picked up, carrying whispers that weren't there before. "Run!" I turned and bolted, crashing through the underbrush, my breath coming in ragged gasps. The whispers followed me, hissing in the darkness, growing louder with every step. By the time I reached the house, I was sobbing, my body shaking with adrenaline. I slammed the door shut and locked it, pressing my back against the wood as I tried to catch my breath. Emily was waiting at the top of the stairs, her small face pale. "I told you," she whispered. "It's not a baby." I didn't sleep that night. I sat in Emily's room, holding her close as she dozed off, her tiny hands gripping my shirt. Outside, the wind continued to howl, but the baby's cries never returned. The next morning, I did some research. I asked around town, carefully probing for any stories about the woods near our house, and what I found chilled me to the bone. Legend had it that decades ago, a woman had lost her baby in those woods. Some said she had abandoned it. Others claimed it had been stolen from her. Whatever the truth was, the woman had gone mad with grief. She had wandered the forest for days, calling out for her child, and when she finally succumbed to the elements, her spirit never left. They say she lures people in, mimicking the cries of a helpless infant, hoping someone will pick up her baby, but those who do never come back. I held Emily a little tighter that day, thanking whatever force had given her the wisdom to warn me. She had sensed the danger before I ever could. And if I had picked up that bundle, if I had held the phantom child in my arms, would I have been able to come back? I don't go near those woods anymore. And if you ever hear a baby crying where there shouldn't be one, don't take it. Whatever you do, don't take the baby. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more spine-chilling tales, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let me know in the comments, have you ever had a paranormal experience? I'd love to hear your stories. Stay safe and always listen to the warnings.